To continue this conversation is CTV News political commentator and former NDP leader Tom Mulcair. Good morning, Tom. It's been a while. Great to see you.
Good to see you, Marcia.
So, many people were upset, including many of the workers, that the Carney government got involved one day after saying, you know, the best deal is the one reached at the bargaining table. However, the government invoked Section 107 of the Canada Labour Code, essentially trying to put an end to the strike. What will the fallout be? And was there any choice for the government to do this?
The fallout's going to be of two orders, and I think we just talked about one of the most important ones, which is the fallout that affects the people, the tens of thousands of people who are still trying to get back to Canada or get back home from Canada because they just haven't been able to get flights. And there's going to be a lot to work out. It's almost puts a smile on your face to hear Air Canada saying, follow the usual route to get reimbursed by Air Canada. Yeah, right. Good luck with that. The other part that's at least as important is the political part, and it's the one you just referred to, because Mark Carney needs everybody on side. He is going to try something huge, which is to reduce the size of the federal government back to something normal. During the 9 years of Justin Trudeau, the federal civil service, the government itself, ballooned out by 40%. That's got to be wrestled under control because there's no way to have a budget to control all of that. It's less efficient. We're hiring more and more outside consultants to the tune of $20 billion a year to do the work that the civil servants aren't doing because it is so ineffective. But Mark Carney won't be able to do that unless he's got everybody on side. You need your social partners, including the unions. And so to start off with this type of fumble, and it's a fumble that I would put clearly on the doorstep of Patty Hajdu, the jobs minister. It was not thought through. There was no plan. Sure, it's the middle of August, and yeah, the A-team is probably on holidays because they've had a long, tough year, but you still have to have competent people in place to guide you through this, and that clearly wasn't the case. So they used all of their goodwill with both parties to force them back to the table, and that worked. They were able to get a deal in one night of good faith bargaining. Marcia, they were able to get a deal. So that's the good news long term. But the difficulty for Carney, and he's got to realize this, and I think he does, because when he said he was disappointed, he didn't try to point at the union. I think he was also saying that he was disappointed with the way his team had handled this. It was not done well. And I've talked to lots of people on both sides of this equation, people who have worked for Air Canada before, who have that point of view, but who say that in terms of the government handling of this, it was really amateurish, and they're going to have to bring up their game because they have. Mr. Carney always says, with good reason, that he was elected to accomplish big things. And one of the big things he's got to accomplish is that big change in the Canadian government. He's not going to do it if he starts off with the unions against him.
I want to switch gears and talk to you about Pierre Poilievre. He's going to be back in the House this fall. Does his by-election win mean that his challenges are over, Tom?
I do. Within the party, I think his challenges are over. But why? You know, the wider question is, will he be able to break through with the average Canadian voter? You know, Pierre Poilievre is a super smart guy, very hardworking. I've known him for more than 15 years, but he's also irascible. He's, you know, the guy who's always got the final word. He points to everybody. I remember during, you know, the lead up to the last campaign, he was in Quebec City, called the mayor an incompetent. And then just to top it off, when he got to Montreal, he said that the mayor of that city was incompetent. You know, like, who are you to be decreeing that everybody else is an incompetent except you, who's never really had much in the way of a real job other than politics? So this is the toughest thing for the people around him to work on with Pierre Poilievre. It's not that the Conservatives don't have a lot of good ideas. Heck, the Liberals stole a bunch of them. But Poilievre himself is off-putting by his demeanor, his tone, his way of dealing with things. And it's a shame because you want to make sure, you know, that you've got a parliament where you have an opposition that can hold the government to account. On that score, 10 on 10. I mean, he's top-notch. The other part, which is showing that he's got a government in waiting, that's where he's got a lot of trouble.
Tom Mulcair, great to see you. Tom is
good to be with you, Marcia. All the best.
All the best to you. Tom's our political commentator.